Alright, now we're going to discuss what's a pistol brace and what is a rifle stock, because this is a giant thing with any of the AR or any pistol type firearms, be it an AR or even something similar. A short barreled, what's going to make the difference between a pistol and a short barreled rifle, which is a controlled item and you need a $200 tax stamp. Okay? Got to clarify this and make sure you don't screw up and end up breaking the law and getting in a lot of trouble. Okay? And also, a real big discussion now is the ATF is supposed to have been changing the ruling on the difference between a stock and a pistol brace, and is the pistol brace, legally used now, or does the pistol brace make the weapon a short-barreled rifle and all this other stuff. So let's just start at the very basic couple things that identify what's a rifle stock and what's a pistol brace. All right, so here we have an AR, and this is with a 16-inch barrel upper, which is attached, and this is a folding carbine style stock. This was built on an Anderson lower. Okay. Now lowers, in any of these builds, you're going to use an AR style lower. Now here's the rub with these, and I'll go into that in detail. But basically, what we're going to do here is this is what you're going to start with. Standard AR-15 lower, okay? And this has, at this point, a carbine stock on it, all right? As this is with the 16-inch barrel, it's carbine, and it's legal. If I took this 10-inch pistol barrel, and it will drop on there, mount on there, and function, onto this, in this configuration, it becomes a short barrel rifle. Okay, that is not a pistol anymore. This is a short barrel rifle with this pistol upper attached to this carbine lower with this stock configuration. Okay, this is what you got to be careful for. It'll drop right on there, it'll function, it'll work, but it is not a pistol, it is a short barrel rifle. Now, if you get into a rifle like this, okay, this has an A2 style stock. This is my 6.8 Grendel, okay, or 6.5 Grendel, I'm sorry. And I built this specifically to be a heavier gun because this is, the barrel's heavy and everything. This is a rifle stock. It doesn't fold, it doesn't move, and the way this is, okay, if you put anything shorter than 16 inches on this lower, and this lower just pops apart, just like the other one, pull it apart, and you got your basic AR-15 lower. It is a short barrel rifle, and you have to have a tax stamp. Now, we're going to take a look at this lower and what has to be done to it to make it a pistol. Okay, so we're going to get this. Alright, here's our lower with its tube and buffer spring and all the other fun stuff. Now, if you look at this lower here, it's a, this is an Anderson, and this particular one is marked multi-caliber. Okay. Now, there was a time back when you were building pistols, like I said years ago, some states required that you had the roll mark say that this was a pistol on there. And I remember there were lowers that were marked handgun or pistol or whatever before you could build it. Some states had that requirement. And this is kind of ridiculous because the multi-caliber means you can build it in anything. Where Anderson did make them with 5.56. Okay, and people would buy these specific lowers because they were building a 5.56 gun. Okay, here's the carbine stock that I took off of it. But what you're going to end up with, okay, and this is the sticking point, this is a standard buffer tube that has for a collapsible stock. Okay, mil spec size. There's two sizes. The mil spec is one size, and then there's another size which is an oddball. You have to be careful when you're buying your lowers for it. And also, when pistols were being made in the old days, when you bought a pistol kit with everything but the lower receiver, you would get a tube that was different. First of all, this section here for the collapsible stuff wasn't on there. It would just be a round tube. Some of them had an end cap where you could put a sling, so you would carry the pistol mounted just to the end tube on a sling, 1-point sling or something. And there were some pistol braces that I had that went on a tube, I can't remember. And what it was just a flat piece of plastic that you would mount on the tube, and then you had a set screw, you can turn it one way or the other. So when you held this against your arm, that piece of plastic would lay one way or the other and stabilize it. Okay, you can still get those stabilizing braces. Alright, but over time they've come up with a different type of stabilizing brace. And what's confusing, so we'll set this aside. And like I said, there used to be different receivers to build pistols. There used to be different buffer tubes, okay, that wouldn't accept something like this. This is the carbine stock. Alright. So, like I said, it's quite obvious with an A2 style stock. It's, you know, full-length rifle stock that don't fold. So that's not a brace. And there's no way in hell you can mount anything to that upper with that A2 style buttstock without it being a short barrel rifle. So this is just a standard, and there's all kinds of variations. And I'm assuming, I don't know the exact guideline. One, I think, is going to be the size of it, and also the thing is if it has a solid back like this. Okay. This is going to denote that this is a shoulder fired stock, or a stock that is intended and designed to be fired from the shoulder. Okay. Now I have a pistol brace here. Now what I guess defines this as a pistol brace, if you look, it's a bit shorter when this locks in. It's shorter than this folding carbine stock. And in the back it has, I think one of the requirements is it has to have this strap. And the whole idea behind this strap is it's Velcro. If you loosen the strap, okay, and this section here is to spread out, and you would place your hand or arm, get it in there, like this on your arm, and then tighten the strap up, and then this would be, when you grip the weapon, this would be the brace. Okay, that's the whole intention. That's the difference between a stock, a rifle shoulder fired stock, and a pistol wrist brace. Alright, so let's get this. You know, everybody's familiar with this. I ain't going to demonstrate it. So we're going to take this, your standard mil spec tube. This thing glides right on there. Okay, now we got this thing on there, the Velcro and all this other fun stuff. And how this is supposed to work is you're supposed to put your hand through here, or your wrist, grab it, and like this. I think you guys get the idea. That's a pistol brace. That's what defines it, I believe. Okay. So let me get this back together again, but you get the idea of the difference between a brace, which this does not have the features and has a solid base, okay? So this would mean that this is designed from the beginning to go against your shoulder, where this is not. This is designed to wrap around your wrist and be tightened down with the strap. All right, so now supposedly we have our AR lower receiver with its buffer tube set up with a pistol brace, I guess the criteria of the pistol brace, and these new ones are retractable or adjustable, okay? They are shorter than the carbine in length. See, and this is where they're going to get into this proposed at the end of the year definition of overall length, this and that and everything else, okay? So the big stink is if you take this thing, which is designed, you know, to wrap around your wrist here and be used like that, say you take it and put it up to your shoulder to fire, okay? Are you breaking the law? Now, supposedly, the way things are, this is legal. And if you go to a range, I guess, and someone sees you, because supposedly this is legal the way it is, but if you hold it up to your shoulder, I guess this was the sticking point. Are you breaking the law at that point? Okay, and they were going back and forth and everything else. At first, the ATF said, no, it's not against the law. This is a brace. It meets the criteria of a brace. Okay. Then they go back and forth, and then it was going to be illegal, then it was not going to be illegal. I have contacted someone who has a business, is an FFL, and is updated on all the ATF instructions on what he's supposed to do to be a legitimate dealer. My friend has 4 or 5 different pistols like this in this configuration. He says, according to the law at this point in time, they are not illegal. And according, I remember it was a year or so ago, you are not breaking the law by holding it up to your shoulder at this point. But now they're coming back, and the thing that everyone's discussing now is, you know, they're proposing a new ruling or guidelines coming at the end of the year. And it's going to be another one of these weird things where you have to go, and I believe when you watch the lawyers' channels, they get really drawn out in this, and you know, they try to go into an explanation, because when you're talking about violating the law on a serious level, okay, you want to make sure you understand what you're dealing with 100%. And I tried to explain it the best I can, but it takes a long time and it is kind of confusing. But again, it's hearsay, we say, they say type of crap. All right, I guess legally, just this sitting on a table alone with the short barrel on top is legal in this configuration. If I had this attached to the lower with the 10-inch barrel attached to the upper, it is a short barreled rifle and it is in violation of the law. So it's all a matter of breaking the law by what part or piece I stick on this assembly. Okay, which, you know, doing it on video is not a good idea, and being caught with it out on the range is not a good idea, okay? So you have to understand what is legal and what is not. Now, what they're coming up with this big change and everyone's talking about is, again, this vague shit where they're going to send you a form, 2-page form, and you have to go with measurements, because the definition also of a short barrel rifle is overall length, okay? There's a criteria based in these laws. And what's going to happen is they're doing something, like they said, and again, the government doesn't really know what the hell they want, where you have to send photographs in. Okay? So, like I said, this, as is, with this type of brace on there, okay, meeting brace criteria with a upper, with a barrel shorter than 16 inches in length, is a pistol. Now, if I pull this off, put this on, okay, place an upper on there with a barrel shorter than 16 inches in length, that will be defined as a short barrel rifle. Alright? And again, if you hold your pistol brace to your shoulder and fire it, are you in violation of the law? It's a very vague thing, okay? So that's the crux of the matter. Legal, with the legality of it all and what you're talking about. So be careful and understand the situation. What's going to happen? A lot of people don't know, but at the end of the year, if they tell you you have to conform, they may just be scaring you into getting you to fill this form out, and then that will be self-incrimination and also underhanded way of getting guns registered. So in other words, they're going to want to know the serial number of this gun. They're going to want to know this. They're going to want to know that. Who has it? Who are you? Where they don't know this. See, because this gun here, I assemble it as a carbine. I can assemble it as a rifle. I can assemble it as a pistol. It's my gun. There's nothing. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not, doing anything with this. It's legal in its form. Yes, I can put this into a form which is not legal, but it's a matter of how you assemble it and knowing the law. Okay, so that's where this is all going. My thing is just be cautious, and truthfully, I don't see how they're going to force everyone who puts together a little AR pistol to come down and, file these papers. I doubt very much the ATF will come to your door looking for it unless you've done something to get their attention and all that other shit too. If you go and do something to aggravate them people, yes, they will show up. Okay. That's another thing. If you're deliberately doing something to prove a point or something, or really getting on their nerves, any federal agency doesn't like that. Okay? But that's my understanding of how this all goes. Okay? So that's my thing on the stocks and everything else. So thanks. And then now we're going to move on.